welcome to another episode of our Footy Fantasy Pod. Today's a special edition for me personally. For particular reasons, a special edition. You know, 7 Ballon d'Or. Man here. Before I go into my propaganda, if you're joining us, like, share, subscribe. Turn on your notifications on YouTube, especially whatever platform you are on. YouTube link is there. Please like, share, subscribe to our podcast. Let me introduce the guest today. Mola will join us later on the pod. But the man with Jorginho and his background, third best player in the world. It's kind of good, third best player over there. Chelsea fan, Chelsea tout, Sammy fanboy. What else can I call him? Mr. Idris, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. The accolades are plenty. Don't worry, keep it coming.
The next on the guest, the man who we have our constant wars, fanboy, my fellow United
again today.
Daniel, thanks for coming.
What's up? I decided this episode. My new manager wears glasses, so
Oh my!
I'm trying to follow suit.
Tactical RR.
An actual tactician.
Okay. Allah just joined right on time.
Hello. Man, people are they're flexing with their backgrounds today.
Okay. That's what we're seeing. We're flexing out. It's a respect for podcast for that man. Can you flip your phone, Ola? Can you flip it vertical?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So like I said, for everyone watching, like, share, subscribe to our stream. While we jump in today, we're going to start with a hot topic. First comment that's coming says, the Leo Sexual FC is alive. Yes, we are live and kicking. It's for a long time, since 2006. For 15 years, Leo Sexuals. It's a great place to be, guys. Anybody else live to FC? 7 Ballon d'Or, 4 Champions League, multiple goal scoring titles, best player of all time. The accolades keep going. But we'll dive into Chelsea. Leo Sexual FC is alive. Yeah, thanks for the comment. I know that's Mr. Oga comment.
Jojo FC is also alive.
Okay, let's dive into the first topic, Mr. Idris. It looks like question for you. Let's start with you. Is it crumbling at the bridge, or is it just a minor blip?
I wouldn't say it's crumbling. Nor will I say it's a minor blip. It's a patch. It's going to be a significant patch for a while, and I don't think people realize how tough it is to sustain a specific formula in the Premier League. Although we have a very good tactician and a very hardworking coach, I expected this at some point, and it was hard to remind people that this will happen, because after coming off Lampard firing, and I was very pro Lampard, right? So you just have to wait till the blip shows up, and you just like, okay, everybody wants to say it's a blip. Some people want to just be like, oh my God, like we already know J5 is a problem, that person is a problem, hence my background today. I'm like, no. These are the same sets of players that have gotten at least 2 to 3 managers fired, whether we like it or not, and there's a reason. It's not that they are bad players, but they're very suitable for a specific type of play, right? And once the tactics, not even formation now, because what Tuchel has showed is you can play wing back, 3 back, and be very offensive. Until Tuchel came to the scene, we thought 3 backs were like very defensive, right? Because then it collapsed into a 5. But with Chelsea, you can play 3 back and you'd be like ultra offensive. That being said, it's expected. I mean, they figured us out. I remember against Watford with Ranieri, I'd mentioned in our group chat once, Chelsea group chat, that like Ranieri has figured out the system, and people are going to like pay attention to how they dragged out that 2-1 game. And I was like, they haven't figured out shit. I was like, no, they figured it out. Like Pep said there's no space between the pivot and the back three, which makes it extremely hard to penetrate Chelsea. So you need something outstanding, you know. He said the bridge don't crumble finish. That will be Shomoli Bridge. What out is this?
That bridge you put on the floor to cross the gutter. Okay, keep it coming. Keep it coming. Love it.
That's a good one. So it's like tactically, you could totally tell like it was astute. Nobody has seen it, and we've seen this with Conte. We've seen this with Mourinho. We've seen it with Ancelotti when they first come. Everybody's just like, okay, what are we dealing with here? You know what I mean? Then you adapt. Same thing with Pep. Pep too had to adapt at one point in time. Pep saw why Chelsea was unable to be penetrated and still couldn't figure it out until Chelsea had injuries or dismissals, and they just overran the team. That being said, that was not a good barometer to say they figured it out, because that's a very good, well-drilled City team that Chelsea can also beat, evenly matched, we say. But when you watch what happened a few games, the struggle was there. Those things we chastised Frank Lampard for, which I wanted people to like. Frank Lampard is in nowhere in Tuchel's league at all. We already know that. But he wasn't technically astute to be able to build the plane while it flies. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? Like, he has one way of doing things. He's still learning his craft. But Tuchel has adapted over time. And those are things you can't really teach except you grow into it. You know what I mean? So Tuchel has figured out like there is a problem, right? We've hit, and this patch will last a bit. That's my fear, is just we don't drop 3-5 points. And we don't drop more than 3 to 5 points from Liverpool and City. That's my fear. Because once we start entering 6 points, 2 games in hand, you know what I mean? 7 points, it's gone. In my own opinion, it's gone. It's those two again, because they're not going to drop points that much. And even if they drop it to be one or a tie, I don't see them just dropping points going forward. Because just the gap in talent, management, the drilling of the tactics into the team, they're just way advanced. You know what I mean? So I don't see them.
It was longer time, right? The longer time, yeah. So.
Exactly. It's literally a refined system. At this point, Seth, watching Salah is like, it's just an auto, what do you call it? Like autopilot. It's almost like, it's almost like reflex, muscle memory. Because he's good, don't get me wrong, but it's just at that point now that he thinks body does. You know what I mean? In fact, sometimes body just does because it's already in memory. Just keep going, It's not you're depreciating that you think your body no fit move, but but you think about. Salah is on a God mode. You know what we say when you're playing like games and you're like just God mode at this moment. It's just like, okay, anything you do. So in that sense, for Chelsea, we have one God mode player, and that person is N'Golo Kante. And once he's not in the midfield doing 2 or 3 people's jobs, you kind of really need, because he's a disruptor. He does a lot more than winning balls, but he's a very significant disruptor, right? And once you have him there, even when he has poor pass completion rate, it is very obvious that when a team understands the tactics of Chelsea and they are willing to stick, something on the line, right? That they will pressure us through the middle. And my boy here, Ballon d'Or. All of us are calling him Ballon d'Or now. I don't care what's gonna. Ballon d'Or, his weaknesses will show. They're very magnified. That's the problem. And that was something that I struggled with over the years to accept him as a register, because it's not something I grew up understanding. It was an Italian thing. But I have to appreciate over years, right? Yeah. But when you want to beat Chelsea, Watford has done it. United did it with Carrick. That's why I was mad when I was giving that man. Like, what Ole couldn't have thought of, Carrick thought about it. It's like, we're just going to play defense. But when you guys break against Chelsea, you broke through the middle. You never broke on the wings. You broke through the middle. It was like they just knew pressure, Jorginho. The wall will come down. It was just a matter of time. And Tuchel's going to figure out what he has to do with that. We pass side to side. We can't really break through. Lukaku's injured. We have a lot of players injured. And it will take some time to get back on our rhythm. So is it broken? No. Is it going to be a longer patch than we think? I think so. We're going to we're going to struggle to beat teams. I just hope we do the Liverpool way, where if we have bad days, we can still get past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like stuffs of champions, just still you can get past. But it's just it's gonna be a long time, and it will not be. It will be partly because of coach and players, but yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good points. Daniel, what are your thoughts quickly about Chelsea?
Well, Chelsea, we've been calling them for a while now. I know the talk on social media on the streets is they call that ball to Cheliban because it's just
No, stop.
it's just heavily defensive. Um, I mean, it says a lot. Like, yeah, I mean, you can say, oh, they're they're getting goals from everywhere. But I mean, it's mostly their defense. They're good on set pieces, but at some point you need the attack is there for a reason. Like they're supposed to attack, and I had my thoughts about a certain Congolese Belgian or wherever he's from. Uh, it was we tried to warn them. As people who have experienced
Come
the
on,
great.
come on, come on. This guy,
We tried
this
to
guy has
warn
not
them.
played for like 10 matches now.
Olalemi,
Come on, come on.
see, objection, man.
We tried to warn them.
Objection, my lord.
Let him land his
But I
way.
mean, I
He's
just
the
yeah,
Wilson.
okay. On a serious note, I mean, he wasn't good yesterday. He wasn't good yesterday.
It was
But Chelsea have always struggled with strikers. I don't know what it is. They just always struggle with strikers. And it's like with even with Lukaku and Werner, it's like with one of them has good positioning but can't finish. The other can finish, but like his position is not so is not so great. So I don't know how else they want to tweak their system, but if they want to if they want to challenge for the cities and the Liverpools, they have to get that attack clicking. And I don't know. I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's a coaching thing. I think it's more of a personnel thing. Maybe the players are being not used optimally, especially Lukaku. Lukaku as a target man doesn't really work. So but yeah, like when you look at Liverpool, Salah, Mane, Jota, Firmino, Origi, those guys are flowing. Even City and City's one is even weirder because like these are not outright attackers, but they deliver the goods. Bernardo, Mahrez, Grealish, all those guys. So once your attack is consistent, or you have one consistent attacker and an already good defensive side, it should help. But right now, it's just the defensive delivering and the inconsistency all over like the rest of the park. So yeah,
Can I point on a few things Daniel has mentioned?
yeah,
sure.
So I would say yes, Daniel. We're not a defensive team, but I get where everybody's coming
yeah,
from.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's what I mean.
No, but your point on is the defense that is carrying the team makes sense a lot because it's not just our defense; it's our actually no, our defense is
It's,
actually.
it's just the defense. Yeah.
But the wing because they actually looked at the distribution of goals. It's actually mostly the wing backs,
Mm-hmm.
the distribution of goals, and you said it's not is it, you're not too sure if it's a coach thing or personnel thing. I think it's personnel when it comes to scoring goals, and I explain why. Um, Tuchel as I mean, I'm learning some things even from coaching that I don't think I even ever saw. Like it was like where you know certain characteristics of certain players and you're trying to get them to do something a little different. Like a
Mm-hmm.
typical example is when you play 4-3-3 or even when you're playing a 3 forward, right?
Mhm.
Certain players have their natural characteristic is to stay out the wing, just naturally beat, create wing, beat their way into. Think about your winger, Jadon Sancho. Think about even when Marshall comes. Marshall is unique. Marshall comes is an inverted kind of like striker,
Yeah, it
right?
goes to the ball.
Exactly. The likes of Odoi, Ziyech, um, most of the guys that play our wings, Pulisic. Pulisic, yeah, sometimes he will come in, but he still likes to run from that wing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most goals will come from those guys. Most creative chances come from those guys. Here's the problem. If you have a very, here's the pro of that. If you have a very mobile forward, then maybe they can tap the ball in, build. They rarely even are part of the top. They just need to be positioned enough to score. That's where Werner becomes that. He's always in the position. He doesn't really.
Yeah, but his finishing is poor.
But the problem is the person that we know can score goals, and every other person that we know can score goals, like Tammy Abraham, they are not serviced. They're not serviced in Chelsea. And this is not an issue that started today. This is not an issue that even started in Sarri's time. This is a known issue in Chelsea, right? And why we don't know, everybody's afraid of wearing the number 9, saying the number 9 jersey is cursed. The only person that has broken the number 9 jersey is Tammy Abraham. Broken the curse, so-called curse on number 9 jersey is Tammy Abraham, 15 goals, right? Then he got injured. But when you look at every other player that has come to Chelsea and played that striking, they've struggled. And there's one thing, for every prolific striker Chelsea have ever had, or prolific forwards, because there was a time we had Didier and Elka, they were banging goals. Didier, Solomon Kalou, they were banging goals, right? Even with Crespo, there was somehow banging goals, but Didier was the constant that was banging goals, and all of them would play in that inverted role, second striker slash. Didier they were around Didier was the thing. Diego Costa came in and is the next best thing. Diego Costa had Cesc Fabregas, and he had Eden Hazard. They will supply anything on the platter of gold for you, and that guy was just an Aguero. He will run for anything. He will run for anything. He's like Suarez. He will get to anywhere. Issue now is Lukaku is capable of doing that, but we have absolutely no, and I'm not insulting my players, but they are not intelligent enough to pass through the lines. They are not intelligent enough to watch Lukaku's run and serve him to his strength.
I don't think intelligence is the word. I think more is that's not their quality, right? It's passing through, like breaking passes. To certain midfielders can do it, certain cannot.
But it takes a level of intelligence. I'm not saying that door. There's a level of intelligence to that line break. Let's talk about Cesc, for example. Even Bruno Fernandes with his assists, Kevin De Bruyne, Man City players, Man City, whatever they call them, their attackers or their midfield, whatever they call them. If it's
the front six,
exactly, the front six. Thank you. Like they're just everywhere, and you know the pass is coming to somebody in a very good position. Sometimes all you have to do is just continue the swipe of your feet into the goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chelsea does not have that. And I remember when Eden Hazard left, and I made this thing that like him leaving is a problem. Because even if you try to show up the defense, you're going to lose a lot of things forward, right? So if you now show up defense like Tuchel has done and every good Chelsea coach has done, we lose so much in the forward. It's a known thing. So now we have all these strikers that have banged 40 goals in Bundesliga. One has banged all the goals in Serie A. Still, if you bring Harry Kane to Chelsea, you will struggle. That's the truth of where we are at. The only person that might not struggle is just the alien himself with another alien behind Ayo. It's Ronaldo, because we find the goal from nothing. That's the only person that can do it. But we don't service our strikers good enough to score goals. So I don't think it's even a Lukaku issue at this point. All the goals Lukaku scored, go and look at the assists. All the goals our wingers have scored, go and look at how the build-up play. He was absent. It's not because he wants to be. It's something every striker has struggled. We just don't have the guys who can deliver. Sorry.
Can I make contribution, because I've not answered the question that you asked though.
Sorry,
I've not answered. I've not answered. No, Idris. Now, of course, you're a Chelsea fan. You have to talk now. I'm just saying. I want to come in from the angle of this is not Stamford Bridge crumbling. I think we attach too much importance to drop points nowadays. When a team drop points, then it's crisis mode. I want to praise Chelsea for even being in the conversation. With Lukaku and Werner were out. Okay, Werner doesn't score many goals, but he brings something. I know Idris is going to be angry about this. Werner brings something to that team. Okay, doesn't score, but his movement brings something. It brings runs. I know you're going to vex, but it's part of it. It's part of it. He should score, yes, but his runs help. And Werner and Lukaku were out for weeks, not 1 or 2 matches, almost up to 10 matches, if I'm not wrong. And Chelsea were still in the conversation. They were winning. They were smashing teams. They were top of the league. Now, because they dropped points, let's look at the matches in which they dropped points most recently. They drew with Man United. which is not a bad result. The only reason why it was bad was in the context that everybody else had been smashing United up and down. So when it came to Chelsea's turn, they could not smash United. But on a normal day,
no mind.
what people? They are the ones that caused it.
Sugar that all of us this share.
They're the ones that caused it. So that's why it was bad in that context. But on a normal day, Chelsea and United, it's also supposed to be a tough game. It's not a game that you're supposed to just go and say, I'm going to take 3 points. On a normal day, it was supposed to be a tough game. So they dropped points in that match. The next match, they dropped points, West Ham. They won 2-1 in between. Then they dropped points at West Ham. West Ham are a different ball of game nowadays.
Yeah.
Liverpool went there, chopped the same 3-2. Yeah. They're tough. They're tough now. So you drop points there. So I just think it's magnified because of the level of opposition Chelsea are facing, because they are facing City and you're facing Liverpool, and it feels like every drop point is a catastrophe. That's the way people look at it now. Every drop point is a catastrophe.
Don't forget
the reality.
Remember that. That's kind of what makes it. The drop points against Burnley 2 matches before United. Remember that?
Yeah. But that's the thing. That Burnley one was the tough one. They dropped points against Burnley. But look at the teams. But that's what I'm saying. Look at the team City dropped points against. They dropped points at home to Southampton and they lost at home to Palace.
Yeah.
Look at the teams Liverpool have dropped points against. We dropped points against Brentford and dropped points at home to Brighton. So that's what I'm saying. That the context is always there. It's just that because it's like maybe the league is so tight, it feels like every drop point is magnified. In this league, there's no all these small teams in quotes, they can show up any day and make you drop points. Yeah. City, like I said, drop points at home to Southampton that everybody has been smashing, that Liverpool smashed 4-0, and they drop points and they lost at home to Palace that you guys beat today. United beat them today. So that's why I'm saying that I think there should be a bit of leeway with this criticism of Chelsea. If it stretches for like 5 more games, if the poor form goes on for like 5 more games, then we can say, it's a crisis. But this time, there are 2 points off the top. Their goals difference is actually very good compared to City because they've been scoring goals. We are saying the strikers are not scoring. But Chelsea are still banging in enough. Even yesterday, they scored twice. The only problem was, for some reason, West Ham managed to score 3. And I think for me...
Mendy had a day off.
He had a day off. It happens. Liverpool, when we lost to West Ham. No, but when we lost to West Ham, Alisson had a day off. It happens. It's football. I just think we have to have a bit of leeway that there'll be sometimes this league this season. I don't think anybody is getting 100 points, 99 points to win the league. So you have to prepare your mind that, man, my team's going to drop points in some awkward games. It's not like 2-3 years ago when City would just win 15, 16 matches on the row, or Liverpool won 17 matches and then go and win the league with 98 points, 99 points. Nah, man, I don't think that's happening this season. So I just think we should just give a bit of leeway. Okay, point taken.
I also think it might be an issue of them like trying to readjust with their strikers coming back, having to rely heavily on the defense. You have to switch up your game now, because obviously Tuchel knew that that defenders contributing to the scoring as well as defending was not sustainable. So more of a blip.
Good point.
Right?
And you guys already said it. Klopp and Pep have had 4 or 5 years of fine-tuning their teams. Each of their teams. They have had 4 or 5 years. Everything is like on autopilot now, muscle memory. Tuchel is it even up to there for 2 years? It's not up to there for 2 years. I just think
he's not up to there for a year.
He's not even up to there for a year.
Who has been in Chelsea for more than a year sometimes? I'm just
So that's my contribution.
But I have a question for you. Why did you say Lukaku was bad? Because the honest truth was, until Lukaku came in, we were not in what's their names, West Ham's box. It was a free-flowing game till he came in. We literally were in the box. We had numbers. It was crowded. We just didn't take our chances. We did not.
Okay. I mean, just reiterate much. Well, let me take this comment and I'll give my own thoughts and wrap up Chelsea, and we can go to Ballon d'Or controversy. Jola said, Oga Kwame said, Ola is making sense, but I don't care about sense at this point. I just want to throw. Reckless. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yalla.
Yala Yaliwe.
This guy. This guy. Oh, my own quick thoughts. I think losing Kovacic and Kante at the same time has been a big problem for Chelsea. These guys do two things. It just has mentioned one, which is like breaking up play.
Breaking line.
That is very, very important. They progress the ball. They are the good ball progressors in tight spaces in the middle. The other person that kind of does that for Chelsea is Hudson-Odoi. But Hudson-Odoi can only function from a wing back role, which wing back role, it's easier to stop someone from progressing the ball. It's easier that way than down to the middle. So I think that's what has helped Chelsea in their quick creativity that they were doing before. I think the other thing I noticed, and I started paying attention to that from like last two games, is when Lukaku plays, the spacing up front is weird. Using their strikers. Therefore, spacing is weird. All of them make the same runs. Lukaku makes the same runs as Kai Havertz. Lukaku makes it sometimes as Pulisic. They run into the same areas. The spacing is weird. That's the second thing I've noticed. Like, oh, okay, interesting. Unlike when Havertz was there, the spacing was way better. I think some of it also has to do with Alonso. I think Alonso runs into like, so sometimes you see Alonso, I'm like, wait, bro, are you denying? What are you doing here? Right beside Lukaku, I saw it like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, well, bro, why are you here? Like, why are you So I think those are
you mentioned Alonso. Yeah, you're right. You mentioned Alonso. Ben Chilwell's miss is great. Huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's such a balanced offense and defense.
Correct.
Alonso is unique. I won't bash him. He's just unique.
That's the final thoughts on Chelsea. Let's move quickly to the Ballon d'Or. I mean, I guess all the results. I mean, we don't need to talk much about it. Liverpool won, Chelsea won. Sorry, Liverpool and City won. City's back on top. See, we'll talk about title race conversations next week. Ballon d'Or controversy. Who should I start with?
Ola.
Why you call it Ola? Who gave me the impression I'm angry at Messi? What gave me the impression I'm angry at Messi?
No,
I'm not angry at Messi.
You are making sense online against some people, so make a case for Ola. That's why I went to go and my nemesis.
No, for me, look. For me, I think people will say sour grapes, but from 2 or 3 years ago, when they merged this Ballon d'Or, it was FIFA organizing it. Then something happened, and then it got unmerged. So now Ballon d'Or went back to being Ballon d'Or. FIFA started doing FIFA Best. That's when it started losing a bit of credibility for me, because I would have preferred a unified approach to giving people awards. So now there's FIFA Best. Now there's a Ballon d'Or. So that's when, for me, it started going downhill. But last year for me was a final nail in the coffin. And the reason why I say that is not just the fact that, okay, we all know Lewandowski should have gotten it. Yeah. But I'm thinking that if it was Ronaldo or Messi in that same situation last year, I believe they would have given them virtually, even if because of COVID-19 they can't do ceremony, they would still have given it to either of them, Messi or Ronaldo. But when it got to Lewandowski, when it got to Lewa, when it got to Lewa's turn, they just said, okay, we're scrapping it this year, we're not giving it to anybody. So that really pissed me off. That really pissed me off, because I was like, you could still have gone ahead, because Champions League still went ahead.
Yeah.
Like competitions were, it's okay, French League didn't finish. But what's the rationale in saying French League didn't finish when the PSG players still played in Champions League after, and they still finished the Champions League? So that's what really pissed me off, and that's why I was like, well, I'm not even caring about this very much anymore. Messi, okay, yeah, he won Copa America, he scored a lot of goals. Okay, yeah, they could have given it to him. Lewandowski, maybe they could have given it to him as compensation. What's even now really it was so laughable that they now have to create a new category just to say, okay, we're giving you something. Come on, are you thinking we're stupid or what? That's I'm just like, man, you people have lost all credibility. They were already losing credibility in my eyes. They were already losing credibility. But when they started doing all this kind of shenanigans of, oh, let's create a new category and just say, oh, yeah, best striker, don't vex. So we didn't give you last year, but we'll give you this one. Come on. So it's not even about Messi or Ronaldo. For me, these guys are the best footballers I'll ever see in my lifetime. So I don't really get into this debate of, oh, this one is greater than that one. I like both of them. I see both of them. I see the arguments for saying one is better than the other, but I don't usually get drawn into that. I'm just happy that in my lifetime I've seen these two gods of football. But this Ballon d'Or nonsense, not for me. Not for me.
Not for you. Not for you. Okay. Before we move to the next person, if you are watching Fantasy, it's on the screen. Like, share, subscribe. Hit your notification button. Let's move to let's move to Idris. Idris, Jorginho. See, Jorginho has
Jojo.
yeah, Jorginho has been in top three. In your opinion?
Was it Jay that said I was going to send hooligans to Jorginho's house yesterday?
That's what I said. I think.
Jojo in last two games, Jojo has been suspect as heck. He's in the sense not suspect as heck actually. It's just his two mistakes. It's just that when Jojo makes a mistake, it's very catastrophic. That's just the problem. Like
It's got a nice penalty though. It's got a nice penalty against United.
Hey, bro, somebody had to go and fall on the other side for you to come and get penalty now. Like, I was so glad he redeemed himself. I'm just saying that like last two games I haven't flattered him, but he has had an amazing time, and I'm a huge sucker for redemption story, even when I'm like chiking the guy. That being said, this Ballon d'Or thing, man. I'm going to approach this conversation from 2 points so that I don't sound like I'm hating Messi. Because Messi fanboys, y'all are some. Y'all are some.
Bro. They're so insufferable.
Like some online jihadists, man. These guys are on some level.
Beehive level. Beyonce fans level.
Beyonce fan level. My God.
Let's talk about
I know what's frustrating is why I actually had my whole comment, and I know I talked about like, oh, you're bringing a huge topic, a sensitive topic like human rights activists and Ballon d'Or. Is you reminded me of the reason why I made that comparison. What did you just say right now when you were introducing this conversation? Messi is the GOAT, 7-time Ballon d'Or winner. Now we're going to use that thing as a metric, and that is where I have issues, because now it is a standard of discussing the greatness of somebody when we know one of the metrics is actually flawed. So for me as a data analyst, it's like I've sat down in places where they come and tell me like, Idris, why is this report looking like this? Why is that my problem? Why you're asking me? That's not my issue. Go and talk to your admins and other people. My job is just to make sure this data comes out with whatever formulas you need. Oh, okay, my bad. I don't mean to be rude to you. Could you help me like tone down these these KPIs right here and enlarge these KPIs right here? Oh, I got you. Now you're talking. I'm gonna take you for lunch in this 5-star. Now you're talking. Gas up the whole dashboard. Let all the strong points show. Then now we want to now collect more money for budget. Even if we know the project is failing, we shall make sure these things show.
And that's a good analogy.
That's my issue. That's my issue with some of these subjective awards, not specifically the Ballon d'Or, these subjective awards. If we want to use, as Ola said, we want to use the metrics they're using today, George Weah will not win this. The first Black African guy will not win this.
Yeah, because he didn't win any trophies that season. Yeah, in 1995.
Exactly.
He didn't win any trophies. Yeah, but he won Ballon d'Or.
Exactly. Even Maradona.
I think even Zidane, the years Zidane was it Zidane the one?
You're right. The years Zidane
won.
Yeah, he won the World Cup. Yeah, he won the World Cup one of the years.
Exactly.
And won the Champions League. Yeah.
Exactly. And the next years that came in, Zidane was head above shoulders a lot of players in that moment, because he had won the Euro, he had won the Champions League with Madrid without volley. Still did not win the Ballon d'Or because there were other criteria. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Oliver Kahn and somebody else at one point in time came second and very close to winning.
Yeah, Oliver Kahn came second. Yeah.
Of certain players, of what they did. And we can be like, you know what? Yes, a typical example, when you made your point about Jorginho, whether I liked it or not, whether I was just anti-Jorginho or not, Ballon d'Or G5, he was so instrumental to Chelsea's win in the Champions League and Europe, even when it seemed whoever played in the pivot with him almost had the same kind of stats, Verratti or Kante. But it was like even Verratti and Kante wouldn't have been great if Jorginho wasn't there. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, we could see that this guy was efficient and effective in something that is not as beautiful as we want to accept. It's not sexy. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's not a sexy job, but he's actually extremely good at it. To now tie all that back to Messi, no denying this guy and Ronaldo are not even humans, in my own opinion, when it comes to football. They're just on a weird level. They're just, I'm glad we saw them in our time. I
Yeah.
don't think we're going to see anything close to this again in another 5, 10 years. I don't think so. But we have to admit, last year, and if you're going to look at last year and the previous year, because they skipped out that year, right? It had to be Lewandowski. It had to be Lewandowski. If not Lewandowski, again, we're not saying Lewandowski is a better player than Messi. This is not what we are saying. But for that year, the impact. You understand what I'm saying? The impact, the way he carried the team, the players, the amount. Then you have to put in Mo Salah. Even Harry Kane has a shout, because if Harry Kane was in any other team, right, in any other team than this shit Tottenham, he would be putting him in the Ballon d'Or conversation, and that was what broke my heart. We've taken out the key things to encourage players to be their best. We've now made it so about marketing and sales that it's no more about the quality. There's no more about the contribution a player makes. It's now almost about, if you score goals, you win the Ballon d'Or. So if you're the greatest keeper that kept clean sheets and stuff, you're not in consideration. If you're the best defender like Cannavaro and Co, you're not in the conversation. If you're the best winger that assisted, you're not in the conversation. Like, it's just so many things just really, really raw. I mean, I'm not saying Hazard is supposed to be the Ballon d'Or race, but when he left Chelsea, that year he left Chelsea, this guy was responsible for our Europa Cup run, our top finish, everything. He was that influential. He was our highest goal scorer and scored. He provided assists for 50% of our goals. That was mad. You understand what I'm trying to say? That's an impact you're supposed to look at. So I don't know, man. It was Messi top 5? Yes, absolutely. Top 3 self. But was he the Ballon d'Or?
Okay. Good points. Good points all around. Daniel.
I'm not even going to bother with this conversation, honestly, because it's something it's not winnable. I mean, Ronaldo definitely was not in the conversation.
That's why I didn't go, huh?
But Lewandowski, what did you say?
The boy is petty. That's why
he said that's why I didn't go.
Huh?
That's why I didn't go now.
Oh, I mean,
COVID.
he has his reasons.
Allegedly,
Yeah.
if it's to go and press some other thing now, Ronaldo will be there. Allegedly.
Oh my God.
Allegedly. Let's go.
Wow.
Some other
No
things.
blue.
It's time to fly.
That's a real propaganda right there.
Wow.
Hey, allegedly.
Wow.
Allegedly.
Agenda must agenda.
You know, it is what it is. Nah, but yeah, I mean, we've all seen the case for Lewandowski, and I mean, sometimes it's like this sport is so scripted. Everyone wants to have, like, add the story mode, fairy tale mode to it. Where, I mean, that whole Messi Copa run and everything, it was an amazing, but it was so, it was so in a situation where, when they got to the final and they won the final, it was, everyone knew it was an let him win the Copa so that he can guarantee that final, that Ballon d'Or. And I'm like, is this what it is now? Like, is this what our sport is? Like, or we're calculating, okay, this is what's going to deliver this. I mean, and then you talk about even the ranking of that competition. But at the end of the day, I just saw the comment. But yeah, at the end of the day, it should have gone to Lewandowski, even, was it last year?
Yeah.
And this year too. It's bad enough that Lewandowski smashed, like, he absolutely smashed that record. Record has been on for how many years in the Bundesliga, and he didn't even win. I think it was Haaland who won the player of the player of the season. So I think people were like, okay, maybe he has Ballon d'Or in the bag, because, I mean, that's a record in itself. When people smash, long time records like that, it should count for something, should count for some recognition. I don't know, maybe Bundesliga tax came into play.
I didn't know that.
You know, but yeah, I think like there's no argument for Messi like to say that he should not be like you just said. There's no one saying he shouldn't be in the top three or top five or whatever. But should he have won it? I don't know. Would he have won it if Argentina won him the Copa? Probably not. Actually, I don't know because it's so corrupt now. He probably would still have won it without winning the Copa. But
Oh, look at this
at
guy.
the end of the day, it is what it is. Hopefully that's the last time we've seen him lifting any trophy. Probably the last time we've seen him lifting any trophy.
See beefing.
Tired of that guy. But no, like all I said, it's a privilege to watch, you know, these two aliens. It's a privilege to have watched the progression of their career from when they literally first started, and then 801 goals later, we have someone who's still moving, still delivering the goods. In multiple leagues, I might add, not just getting
O'Shea.
comfortable, going to a
Hey.
super team.
I want proper
You know,
Ganga. Carry on, Daniel. Carry on.
Shots fired.
multiple leagues, just getting out of his comfort zone, working with a lot of inexperienced managers, still doing the thing,
Find them in the process.
Shots
I
fired.
heard, I heard the
Just
current
like-
Ballon d'Or winner has only one goal. I mean, Fred has more goals than a certain Leo Messi in the league. So
Low blow, low blow, low
we have
blow.
to re-examine that award and see what it's really about.
I just want to say, if they did not know Daniel was working from Old Trafford, you have like CNN under him there. The propaganda machine is solid with the poetry set. We just came in, and even though we were talking about, I was like, wait a second.
I like how he was like being gentlemanly. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to be decent. I'm not going to throw any shots." And then at the end, he just came in and
I
bazooka,
couldn't resist.
bazooka, boom.
I heard he also was at fault for them conceding yesterday. They almost lost. But who's taking note of these things? It doesn't matter.
Who's taking note of these things exactly?
He has his Ballon d'Or.
Oh my
I heard a
God.
lot of fans saying, "Oh, he's allowed to be washed. He's allowed to be rubbish from now." And I'm like, okay, cool. So it was just in order to get this award, and then he can down tools. I know a certain player who doesn't down tools. 36 years old, praised by every manager he's ever worked with. So we'll see how their careers end.
Yeah, we need that. He still can't travel to America though. Just saying, by the way.
Fair enough.
That's what I know for sure. That's a fact.
Fair enough.
Okay, I'll first give my trophy tribute to the GOAT of all GOATs. Man, 7 Ballon d'Ors, whether people like it or not. Best player of all time, in my opinion. That's my opinion. That I've seen, can do everything. Still can dribble, still can free kick.
He can't head. He can't head. He can't head. What he can do everything. Can't head.
He scored a
Can't press.
header in the Champions League final. Thank you very much.
Once in a lifetime.
So he's clearly a good header of the ball. He can do everything. And this guy won. Ballon d'Or. So my thoughts, I'll give objective opinions, right? 2020, of course, it was Lewandowski, right? Even Messi said it, of course. For 2021, if they had given Lewandowski, right, nobody would have said, "Oh, he didn't deserve it." I also think I think this outcry is very, very dramatic on Messi. It's ridiculous. Personally, I think it's ridiculous. This guy had 40 goals, has 60 assists. This guy in Copa America, he said no, he won it for Argentina. He was the best player in the tournament. He was the highest goal scorer of the tournament, created most chances. This guy was the person that won the tournament for Argentina, literally. And without this guy, Barcelona probably finished 7th or 8th last season. That's how bad they were last season. And he won a tournament. Now, am I saying, oh, it's an outstanding? No. I'm like, I'll repeat. If they had given that, so yeah, because I did well. He scored 54 goals, 8 assists. He had a good season, but it wasn't a season where he didn't win the German Cup. That's something that Bayern just win in their sleep. They lost that. They didn't win that. They went. He last Champions League game he played. It was second round, right? I'm pretty sure if you had gone for the Champions League, if they go to semi-final or something, and he was there.
Just quick question.
I think it's outrageous. The outrage is because of two things. Part of the outrage was because Lewandowski should have been given. Maybe they should have compensated him. If people had admitted that, that's fine. But the outrage that came like, Messi should not even be in top 3. I was just like, people are just chatting rubbish at this point.
You're focusing on a season. You're focusing on a season. Ballon d'Or is not supposed to be for a calendar year.
Calendar year.
That's what I mean.
This calendar year.
The calendar year, Messi has not been, in my opinion, it has not been the best in the calendar year of 2021. Because my calendar year is from January to December.
No, they cut off at some point. Come on, Allah. They cut off
at November. Yeah, they start voting in November.
Yeah, that's when they cut off. He had a summer where he led his team, and I think that's what tipped it over the line. He had a summer with his team to win, like the biggest tournament in South America. He won it, and he was a deciding factor, and that's why they give it to him. Now, if people say, you have got it, that's fine. Also, I have either way, if two of them have won it, because I think it was that close, I think it's fine. But the outrage people have come out with, it doesn't make sense. I don't read Ballon d'Or. Come on, guys. This is the first time we've seen this. We've seen this since this has happened in 2006. But all of a sudden, because it's Messi, everybody says Ballon d'Or doesn't count again. I'm like, come on, I don't think this is this.
It's not all of it. There were some years Ronaldo won it. There were some years Ronaldo won it, and Ronaldo also didn't deserve it. So it's not just because of Messi. For me, that's why I said my own. For me, okay, let me just clarify my point again. Yeah. My own is not because it's Messi that won it. Like I told you, the credibility issue. Okay.
You made it clear. I wasn't directed at you. My comment directed at a lot of the outrage, media, ex-players. Evra was just there twerking for sales. I don't want to go into that. Actually, I don't want to go into that because I think that one.
Don't throw shots at Uncle Evra. Uncle Evra will come for you.
For me, I'm like, nah, man. Just twerking for Glazers, twerking for top twerking for CR7. Like, come on, bro. Come on. You know what this guy? You know the allegations behind this man. You're out here twerking left and right. Come on, man. I don't care about that. So the point
I'll say Ayo, the outrage you have,
the outrage. You say what?
The outrage you have, can you address as you're trying to build on this your point? Could you also address from a point of view that the reason why people were just anti, and like Ola quickly said, I'm not anti-Messi. I just did not think he deserves this award. Now, don't you also think the outrage now is because of what me, Daniel, and Ola have said? This award has now become so controversial over years that now it's become one camp versus another camp that we're not even looking at any other person that is supposedly supposed to win.
That's fair. That's fair. I agree. There's a point to that. I also think a lot of times people exaggerate that thing, right? I mean, this award is very, very subjective. Like I think you said that I said in your chat. Yeah. It's always going to be like that. Yeah, Modric, whoever was like, huh? At least I was like, huh? Modric. There are years that people won. And what is it? Okay, it's fine. Let's move on.
Modric, but you know what? Even in the Modric own, if there was some sense in the Modric own, okay, I want to believe the Modric win, maybe okay, subjective again. But when they talked about how influential it was for Croatia and for Madrid and the runs, the consistency, it made sense. Because it was very active.
Was it not influential for Barcelona? I don't understand why Barcelona is
No. But the Champions League, this guy didn't win shit with Barcelona, bro. But yes, he was as Harry Kane was for Tottenham, as Mo Salah was for Liverpool. No. We can't be dancing around with this thing now.
It doesn't make sense. This guy actually won trophies. Harry Kane did not see shit. Did not see anything. He didn't win a spoon or a plate. He didn't win a lift anything. This guy won 2 million trophies. It's true now.
But that goes back to what Idris was saying. That point about George Weah. Goes back to that. That's why I say this awards are losing credibility. Because when George Weah won it, he won African Footballer of the Year, he won European Footballer of the Year, he won World Player of the Year, and he didn't win any trophies. But everybody recognized in 1995 this guy was the best player in the world. And now it's all about this one he won a trophy. He didn't win a trophy.
Let's put context to it.
Yeah.
When George Weah did that then, right? You can probably say that year, 1995, if you go back and look, there wasn't anybody that was close based on performance to what George Weah did. It was far ahead that year. And that's why, like I said, 2020, everybody can say, Lewandowski far above everybody in the calendar year 2020. That's what I think. Anyways, I don't want us to belabor this point. That's what I think. Let's move on. Whoever thinks different in the comments, let us know. let's move on. Quick thoughts from Daniel about tactical RR. What you saw about the game. Just quick thoughts.
Ragnarok.
Action.
He's
You see, I have my glasses on because
I didn't watch
we
the
have
game.
a tactician who actually sees the game.
Yes, yes.
I tuned into the game late today, maybe like I'll say like 8 minutes in, and in the span of how many seconds, like we'd won the ball back, like we like Palace were trying to play out from the back, and I was seeing like a coordinated press. We talk about the Ragnick 4-2-2, the movement and everything, and I'm like, wow, like to show how badly like starved of just organization we had been, like the vertical plays, the not even like, okay, so like when they say Preston, it's not about like running around like your head, just the organization, right? The positioning. I was like, this is like a whole different team. And it's even like it blows my mind more when you hear like what Ragnick said in his presser. They didn't train yesterday because the weather was really bad. They didn't train. A lot of it was video sessions.
Yeah.
And he just told them,
Wow.
oh, this is what you should be doing. They didn't train.
Wow.
So people are saying, oh, after just 2 training sessions. No, it's like 1.5.
1.5, yeah.
They didn't train yesterday. He just okay. He was like, okay, I'll use the same team against Arsenal. I'm not really here to change much, but let me what's it called? This is the framework. This is how I want you to play. And if people, in case some people didn't notice it, Carrick was also trying to implement that, in the games earlier before Ragnick came, sort of like laying that foundation, because I think he was already communicating what he wanted, how he wanted the teams to play, his team to play. And yeah, it's like night and day. That entire first half, we're just creating chances, dominating like for a good 20 minutes. In fact, when I tuned into that game, I was joking with my brother, like I don't know what color of jersey De Gea's wearing today, because I haven't, like, the ball hasn't gotten to there. Like protecting the goalkeeper, losing the ball, winning it back immediately. Like the fullbacks actually getting involved in the play rather than waiting for. Zaha could not breathe today. Wilfred Zaha, arguably one of the best 1v1 wide players in the league.
Yep.
He could not breathe today, and he didn't need Wan-Bissaka to be tackling. No, Zaha was doing a lot of running around trying to get to the ball, but Dalot was so controlled in possession, like so much control in possession, and that's one word like Ragnick has always been hammering on.
Match
Since
control.
it's just control with. And what he said, like one thing I really, really love, he said, we're trying to eliminate the coincidence factor. That's pretty much saying we're getting rid of vibes.
Vibes, man. We don't want that.
We're getting rid of vibes and inshallah.
I've been saying that
Like, we're getting rid of that. Control the game and not, just don't let things just happen. We created so many chances. Unlucky that we couldn't have been 3 or 4-0 up at the break, but it was like such a breath of fresh air. Like even if the game had ended 0-0, even if we had lost, that's one game I said like, oh, I actually enjoyed watching the United game for the first time in a while, because I knew everybody knew what their role was.
Yeah.
Some players will still come into question. But the likes of Fred, I think this might be a Fred rebirth. Maybe we'll get to see. Maybe
that's the
Pastor Fred.
Yeah, Pastor Fred. Maybe we'll see the the Fred was seeing all those Shakhtar highlights, way back then. Maybe we get a chance to see that.
Fred is waiting for apologies. I remember.
Yeah, no. Yeah. You bought into that Fred stock like Bitcoin. Okay.
I told you guys, hey, I was telling you guys, hey, he's not the best.
Yeah.
Hey.
But one thing it would also show the clear weaknesses in terms of, maybe not in terms of moving players on, but one thing a good coach is doing is covering those weaknesses.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm looking forward to. Another thing is realizing players' potential, because that is what a good coach does.
Yeah.
A lot of players have been stagnant under Ole because just lets them do their own thing.
Yeah.
But when a player has a job, he knows his role in the team. He knows how he fits into the team. it goes such a long way. So that being said, I mean I don't think Scott McTominay is going to last in this side. Just from what I've seen. I mean, it's still early days, but
What
a
do you
lot
call
of
him?
his limits.
What's that nickname I
Huh?
saw today? What's the nickname you gave him? McTominay, what's that nickname you gave him?
Oh, Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Come on. Come on.
Okay, so the reason I say that about McTominay is
Right.
as a midfielder, right? This is just a segue. As a midfielder, your head is always supposed to be, on a swivel. And McTominay always wants to play it safe. He doesn't take risks. A lot of he basically goes against everything that what's it called, that everything that Ragnick's principles are. No square or backward passes. No, like yeah, he has high energy levels, but he doesn't use like it gets to a point where we're starting to separate McFred. We're starting to there's still a player in Fred.
Yeah.
But McTominay, I don't think. And the thing is, and the thing is, there's this constant one thing that happens with United players, especially players who have come through the academy. There's a constant infantilization of them, making it seem that they're youngsters. McTominay is 26, going on 27.
Whoa.
He's a seasoned player. So we need to take off this lens of he's a young. No, this is you as a midfielder. You should be coming into your own at that age.
Yeah.
So if you can't get with the program, they need to move you on. We did this a long time with Lingard as well. Yeah, he's gone for, but he should have moved on as well.
Fact checking. He's 24.
Oh, who?
McTominay.
How old is Lingard?
Oh, sorry, are you talking about Lingard? Oh no, Lingard is old. You guys have been romanticized.
Okay, yeah, no. So
Yeah,
24.
Lingard, yeah,
even
Lingard,
24 for a midfielder.
He's hitting
For a
puberty.
midfielder, you should not be making, the mistakes and stuff that you're making.
Yeah. Okay, let's take the comments.
So yeah, it's
friendly guy. Sorry to cut you off. Says I told you about Dallo. Yeah, we'll see. I'm still not convinced about him defensively, but hey, I'm happy to be proved wrong. That means United is doing well. I'm just over here hitting my bar like Mr. Ibu.
I think with Dallo, like if you're what's it called? If you have that control.
No square backward.
Doesn't make No. Maguire. That's one thing I wouldn't say about Maguire.
No, he doesn't backward. He just
has
a passport.
Maguire is even one of our better on the ball.
Correct.
On
And
the ball
Shaw try for stop that, Mr. Shobeto.
I think if you're talking about, it will probably be guys like Wan-Bissaka and
exactly.
and McTominay. Like those are people who constantly make square and backward passes. But yeah, I mean, just in general, like it's such a breath of fresh air. Yeah, a lot of players are gonna have to adapt to this new, high energy style of play. The Ronaldo doesn't press allegations. We already beat that.
You beat that already? We beat that already? Are you sure?
Beat that already? No, Ragnick said it himself that he, at the end of his presser today, he said as for Ronaldo, top professional, gave him some high praise. He has no problem with his style of play. So I don't think it's going to be a problem, huh?
He said he can press.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the only thing is obviously managing games. When they think of it. So obviously there will be some rotation being done. The right rotation, not dropping him against Everton before the international break.
Yeah, that didn't make sense.
Yeah, it made no
That's one of the weirdest decisions ever.
Like I don't know if it was a power move or some kind of power play. It was just so weird.
One guy has great passing, backward passing. I love to run my agenda. What's this guy talking about?
And that's another thing. Like Maguire's spot might not be sure because the way Lindelof played today, wow. I think Varane is secure, but like these other two.
That's true. I mean, I'm all for that, man. Anybody manager doesn't.
And I'm happy to see that competition. That's another thing because when players were out of form, that other guy from Norway who would keep playing these guys, playing. Like you don't play a player back into form. You take him out, like let him fight for his place, maybe in training and whatnot. and then another breath of fresh air, early substitutions. Oh my God. I didn't have to wait until the 85th minute to see one substitution. My manager not holding on to the subs like they're Pokemon, as if they're going to carry over to the next game. Actually making subs, like for like changes because there's a system in place. They took on Sancho, brought on Greenwood, took on I think it was Rashford, I believe, brought on Elanga, and then took off. I know. Donny van de Beek came on. I mean, he came on pretty late, but 83 minutes instead of 88 minutes. That's progress in my book. That's progress in my book. So yeah, but we had control. A little bit of sometimes old ways because when you're playing somewhere for 3 years, you're playing the same way for like 3 years. It tends to creep back in. But with time, if with 1.5 training sessions, he's not even able to do actual tactical work with them on the field yet, then who knows? This is a talented team. PS, what do you guys think? Darren Fletcher on the touchline, that was confusing. Yeah, I don't know what his role is. I thought he was upstairs, but I've seen him in training pictures and I've seen him on the touchline. So I think maybe they are being used as placeholders till he gets his people in. I know I saw that Ragnick is getting one of his guys, Sasha. I forgot his, I don't know. I can't remember what his last name is.
Yeah, the guy's a
Huh?
psychologist.
Yeah. So he's bringing him in. So obviously it'll probably take some time to get their own work visas and stuff sorted out. So maybe that's why you're seeing more of Fletcher and and McKenna and all these guys still on there. But yeah, man, so many positives, and we have an easy run of games too. So um with a big squad, and like I said, it's more about the system right now as opposed to individual brilliance.
Yeah.
So some of parts that sum up a whole. So it's looking good. It's looking good. I can I'm probably wearing my jersey again after my strike. It feels good to be able to wear these kits again. But yeah, long me Ralph's roaring reds.
Okay, Ralph running Reds. Just so that you just keep it going. I know. I think it's just first game. We'll let other people keep their opinions first. Let's more games, then we can start asking other fans what they think. Weekly awards for sake of time. Daniel, since you're already on the roll, donkey and Golo. Who's your donkey
Weekly
award?
awards. Man, Fred.
That's Fred.
Fred, he had a a good game against Chelsea. When I say good game, by his standards, that was an improvement. He could have scored that goal.
Condition.
No,
Like conditional statements.
no.
Standard. What does that mean?
Because prior to seeing that Chelsea game, we had a blueprint. We had an idea of what to expect from Fred.
Let your apologies be as loud as your. I remember all this.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Like all of you.
I'm getting there. Hold on, I'm getting there.
Okay, go ahead.
He had a good performance. Missed out on the gift. He didn't capitalize on the gift Mendy gave him.
Yeah.
And then against Arsenal, he did really well going forward. Now these comments are killing me. He did well going forward. He did well in his pressing and his movement. Won the got an assist, and then won the penalty. I mean, he had an all round game. He even hurt his own keeper to concede the first goal. But today was not. Today was actually wow. Like, yeah, that was a really good performance from him. Not just in scoring the winner, but in terms of him winning the ball back. No needless fouls, no needless tackles.
Tactical Fred.
Yeah. Pretty much. So yeah, that's. I definitely have to. Yeah, I definitely have to give it to him.
Enjoy the moment. Yeah, that. It's like tactics. Hey, this is what you do. This is where you run. This is zones.
Nah,
there's a difference, guys.
I don't know. Did you watch the game?
I watched extended highlights.
No. There were so many good moments in that game. Like 1-0 is even. That's why I said like 1-0 is such a. It's not like a fair reflection of how that game was. If we're taking out, especially in the first half, maybe 3 or 4-0 by halftime. I think we hit the bar like twice, and yeah, it was like the movement was. We've been down bad.
We have.
We've been down so bad, bro.
Donkey of the week. Okay,
Um,
what's your donkey? So I can move to that.
Donkey. Ah, I
Or you
don't
can
know.
come
Maybe
back. You're still thinking.
yeah. Circle back to me. Circle back to me.
Come back. Idris, who's your kudos for
Yes.
the week? Kudos and donkey.
I have donkey. I don't have kudos right now.
That's fine. It's okay. We know
Unfortunately,
you. You're a negative guy. We know you.
who we have right now is for me it's just because he's been outstanding, and he's been doing some stuff that finally caught up with him. Is Edward Mendy. He's just Mendy. Like those back passes, just sometimes he was too comfy, just hanging on the ball, and he had missed. He had given Fred a free lunch. Fred didn't take it. I think they took it this time in Aston Villa. But Bowen and Co. So he's my donkey. He's my donkey. He's having a rough time this week, but yeah, it's just unfortunate.
I like that. I like that objectivity. Yeah, people can have those kind of weeks. So you have a kudos, no kudos for
Oh, now I'm still processing my kudos.
Come back to it.
Yeah. Actually, no. Chelsea girls kudos of the week winning the FA Cup against Arsenal.
I like that.
Yep.
Hey, big up.
Chelsea girls.
Shout out to Sam Kerr.
Yay!
That was a really good goal too.
Amazing, bro. We need to bring this
Beautiful
girl into the men's team, man, because those boys are out here just doing side to side. But anyway,
Your coach, the coach of that female team, she's really a very top manager. She's been consistent for you. She's one of the best. I mean, she really is one of the best coaches in England for sure.
They've been pushing for her to potentially, if there was any managerial sack, just so that we can have. I know a lot of people are not on this. I'm neither here nor there. I could really care less. I would like to see as an interim manager, at least for the boys, before they bring in that.
Yeah. She knows.
Great analysis, very well. Ooh.
Yes, exactly. When you listen to her, like, or the zone analysis, you're like, bro, this lady knows the shit.
I saw her one show like that, and she was spitting fire, man. I was like, man, yeah, this woman, she knows football.
She knows football. She also does it from a very majestic, feminine point. She's not trying to tussle.
Exactly. She's educated with it too. When she's speaking, she's educated. She's like, okay, this is why this is happening. This is why this should have happened. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, she's
like, no, it's just beautiful. Like, yeah. For her, man, if we ever, I think there's going to be a point you manage the men, since we are just a revolving door of managers. At one point, I'm very sure. I'm very, very sure. They'll just be like, we have fired almost everybody. Even if people want to hire, we have fired them. Emma, just quickly come and do this for like, to the end of the season before another person comes and gets fired. So she's the longest serving Chelsea coach right now, man.
Okay. Yeah. Hola, let's go.
Okay, I'll go with kudos of the week first. Kudos of the week. Shout out to my neighbors who are just living next door, who didn't call the cops yesterday when I was screaming my head off. Shout out to them. After Origi scored, when I was shouting and jumping, they didn't call the cops on me. So kudos of the week, because that could have gone terribly when I was destroying the house, jumping and screaming, Origi! Yeah, but kudos. So that's my kudos of the week for them. Donkey of the week, Everton fan that went into Anfield to vandalize our pictures, spraying nonsense all over the walls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There were pictures. He wrote, is this comrades or something? He sprayed in blue paint. Whoever it was, they couldn't catch. Maybe they've not caught the guy yet. And then went to spray 39.
They didn't catch him.
I'm kidding. Yeah, well, he also sprayed 39 on our champions wall. The wall where we have our, and 39 refers to the 39 fans that died, 39 Juventus fans that died when Liverpool played in the Champions League final. Yeah, that was Liverpool fans' fault. Yeah, so imagine he went that far, and that was just before the derby. So that was, maybe I should also give him like kudos, because I'm sure that our boys would have seen that. I'm like, you guys, you deserve the beating before that, but for doing that, you deserve a bigger beating. So we went there and smashed them 4-1. So thank you, that everything fan. You were a donkey, but thanks for winding up our team to come and smash you at Good Same Park. That's it.
Okay. Can I put the honorable mention?
Okay, go ahead.
Does anybody follow the 433 Instagram football page?
No.
No.
Okay. But has anybody seen that penalty either in Ibadan that somebody was trying to take in the
Oh, okay, I've
stadium?
seen
The guy
that.
was
I've
like,
seen that. He ran
guy's
all the
not
way. He ran all the way back to the center circle.
And then he missed it. I
And
saw
then the
it.
keeper
I saw it.
saved it. It was a very tame penalty. Yeah.
The commentary.
Yeah,
He went almost to the center circle.
Center
Almost from
circle,
the
yeah.
center circle.
The commentary is kudos of the week. The guy that kudos of the week and donkey of the week in one video. Just one video.
Okay, that's
No, that was funny.
That's nice. Daniel, have you come out your
Yeah, donkey of the week. I mean, probably unfair because his team won the game, but Diogo Jota's return to the Molineux was
And it was his birthday. Yesterday was his birthday.
His birthday as well. His birthday as well. So maybe I'm piling on too harsh on him.
Don't. If yesterday was his birthday, then give it, because yesterday was my younger sister's birthday. So if it's a younger sister's birthday, me, then he just
Wow, where's the democracy in this podcast? we have
democracy.
I have an overlord over here. Nah, but yeah, he didn't have a particularly nice game.
Yeah, he owes Origi a bottle of champagne, man. He owes Origi big time.
He really does.
I need some clear chances.
Yeah.
Mine, to end the show, I'll start with negative because I want to end on a positive. I'll start my negative. My donkey of the week. Woo! You know, one person I would give slight kudos to on this pod has been calling him out for a long time. Mr. Brendan Rodgers. Woo! Bro.
Your donkey.
My donkey. Yeah, 11th.
Yep.
Nah, in December. Yep. Nah.
And I called this a long time ago. He's not a manager that.
Yeah. That guy, I don't trust him. I don't trust him at all. And they're like defensively. And the way I operate is this. I look at what the team's weakness is. And I look at what this manager has had this weakness from Liverpool, in Leicester. Like those two seasons they came close with. I mean, I'll praise him for that because they punch well above their weight. But that's the one weakness. We've got to another season again. He bought more central midfielder, bought Sumari, and they still have that weakness. In fact, it looks like weakness has worsened. Nah. People were saying John Evans has
it's like they concede from every set piece.
John Evans has been back now for over a month. Nah. So the John Evans excuse is gone. You won't say only for Fana. Come on, we can't only a 19-year-old kid. That's what making them conceding set piece. Nah, I like to be objective. I like him, but what I've seen this season with this start, I don't trust him to come and be United again. Nah, I don't. I'm like, nah. I've switched lanes from him.
No, that's it for sale. Don't mention that guy in United.
Nah, it's not.
We're looking at actual tacticians now.
He's a tactician. I just think he's one of those guys that he's a big ego guy and he knows how to do one thing. And this one thing that I know how to do, I'm going to die there. I suspect that he thinks tactics is changing shape. That's what I look about Brendan Rodgers. His own tactics is let's go to back three hype. You know, like what we were saying there, that only back three hype. Sure, that was the problem. Just change back three. You think that's what makes people win? You know, but I think he's one of those guys that he's changing shape, his tactics for him, rather than like, you know, adapting and attacking weaknesses and hiding your weaknesses. Yeah, I don't trust him. So he gets my donkey. But my kudos on a positive note, it's Pastor Fred. You know, Pastor Fred has to get my kudos because I feel like he has suffered from the McFred sandwich. He has been poor in some games, that's true. His weaknesses have been highlighted for almost 2 years. And even when he had good games, it was always hidden under like more praise for manager, a lot of praise for like people scoring, maybe it was Rashford. But this guy, in all the few wins we had under like memorable games under Solskjaer, where he's breaking up play everywhere, forward, doing like just one was a one-man pressing system. People failed to give him credit. They wait for that one game United is bad, and they'll just pile on him. So I'm happy that people are now actually seeing that, you know, this guy is good. And hopefully, now that he's a competent manager, you know, who's going to give him tactical instructions, people will now see that, you know, he's one of those guys that this one thing he can do it extremely well. He might not be able to do other things, line breaking passes, you know, positional sense. But the one thing he can do, pressing and the ability to at least, pass better than most of the rest of our midfield and have like ball sense, he has it. So Pastor Fred gets my kudos. And honorary kudos goes to my man. I have to just talk about just a little bit. It goes to Ballon d'Or, guys. 7 Ballon d'Or.
Let me just say, I'm loving up the optimism of these United fans, and it's going to make it sweeter when you guys start crying again. So keep up the optimism, guys. Please keep it up.
Let me tell you something, Allah.
Keep it up.
We didn't even need someone like Ralph Ragnick to be optimistic. Any competent manager was enough. It's like guys don't realize how down bad we were.
You know why? People will never realize.
So bad that you finished second. So bad that you finished second last season. So bad.
That's the thing. You guys don't realize that.
So bad.
That was
so bad you finished second.
That's how it goes.
Don't worry, we'll be here now. We'll be here. Don't worry, all of us will be here at the end of the season. Don't worry, we'll be here.
What's the position we're coming for it? That's what I know. We're getting fourth position.
Arsenal are in trouble. Man. We have to talk about. We didn't take shots at Arsenal, so let's just take shots before we finish. We have to take shots at them now. They're in trouble.
We made a mistake to take shots at the end because EJ will just edit it. We have done it in the middle.
That's true. Let's take we had only one person commenting throughout. Thanks for your comment. Says,
yes.
Oh yeah, they had to go smack 3-0 and he started blaming his players again.
Oh,
like that was so quick. Is it up to a year? I don't think it's up to a year.
It keeps, it's a cycle. It keeps shortening. That's what we don't know.
Yes. With United was 3 seasons. With Spurs was like 1.5. Now with Roma, a whole half a season. So I think it might be time for that guy to pack it up.
Guys, we come to the end of the show.
I actually watched their games. They're playing very good football. They have a whole bunch of young players. In my opinion, I'm actually shocked he plays this open. But then when you actually see him throw players under the bus and some of the very harsh comments he comes, that's donkey behavior, man. There's nothing else.
He gets donkey of the week. Universal donkey of the week is Jose Mourinho. Like, subscribe. We're out, everyone. Take care.